Hey guys, Mr.Relatable here. Welcome back to another episode of Creative Basics. I want to apologize for this video taking so long to get out. I planned on releasing it Saturday, but with the Star Wars event, Creative went down for about 6 hours, so I was not able to get on and record it, so I'm uploading it now. So this is going to be the tutorial on how to create your very own search and destroy game mode with everything that you need. Literally everything that you could ever want is going to be included in this video. If you do have any more questions, please let me know. And before I get started, one last thing. I have a Google Docs down in the top of the description, and if you go to that Google Docs, it actually just lists all of the settings in case you don't want to watch this full video, as it is going to be fairly long. You can go to the Google Docs and it shows every single setting and every single device that you are going to need and all the settings set up for it. But with that out of the way, let's hop right into the video. So the first thing that we're going to want to do here is go into our My Island settings and then go to the game settings. I'm going to restore defaults just so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. The first thing we're going to want to change is teams, put this on teams 2, and then go to spawn limit, put this on 1. This just ensures that after the player dies, they are out of that round. Total rounds, we're going to put this up to 7, team rotation every round, and then end game on match point win. All of these can be modified to your likings. The way that I have this set up currently is the first team to win 4 rounds will win the game. The reason I'm having endgame on match point win is a yes, is if we had this on no, then it would play out the full 7 rounds. And the reason that this isn't really amazing is because let's say a team gets 6 wins in a row, the other team physically can't win, as no matter if they win or lose, the other team is going to have more points than they do. So endgame on match point win just ensures that as soon as that team crosses the 4-point threshold, they win. Next thing we're going to want to do is change the time limit to 0 or none. The reason we're doing this is because we're actually going to set up our own custom timer, and I know that sounds a little confusing, but bear with me at first. Just know that you're going to want this on none. Do not put this on 5 minutes, do not put this on 10 minutes, put this on none. Win condition, we're going to want to put this on most round wins. It's already there by default, just make sure that it's on. And then score to end, we're going to put to 1. And that's everything you need for my Island game settings. Now we're going to go into our settings tab in the My Island. Once again, I'm going to restore defaults just so you guys can see everything that I'm doing. First thing I'm going to change is infinite resources. I want this on off, as I don't really want players to be building in my game, as well as allow building. Once again, we're going to put this on none. If you do want players to build, you're more than welcome to put these on. However, like I said, I don't want players to be building. Building can destroy environment. I'm going to put this on no. Environmental damage is off. Structure damage is going to be, once again, on off or none. Weapon destruction, we're going to put that to none. And then we're going to go down to pickaxe destruction, put this on none yet again. This just ensures that players cannot destroy anything in the map itself. Next thing we're going to do is go to down but not out. We're just going to put this on off. This ensures that players cannot get knocked, and it just makes it so when they get eliminated, they are out of that round. Eliminated players' items, make sure this is on delete, and then glider redeploy, we're going to want this on off. Once again, you can change all of these for what you see fit. However, I'm going through the exact settings that I used to set up my game. So that's going to be it for the settings tab. Now, as you probably guessed it, we're going to go into the UI tab next. Once again, just going to restore defaults, and now we're going to change both of these 15 seconds down to 7 seconds. This just simply makes it so at the end of the round, there is a scoreboard that pops up on the screen, and it's only going to last 7 seconds. 15 seconds is just a little too long in my opinion. Next, we're going to go down to HUD game info and put this on score, and then show cumulative stat value on HUD, put this on yes. Scoreboard win condition, we're going to put this on eliminations, and then assists, and then eliminated. So eliminations for the first one, tiebreaker 1 is assist, tiebreaker 2 is eliminated. This just means when you look at the scoreboard, it's going to show how many people you've killed, how many assists you've got, and then how many times you have died. And now we're going to go down to map screen display, put this on scoreboard. You could put it on overview map if you want the map to be able to be viewed. However, I think scoreboard is best for this. And then show cumulative scoreboard right here, put this on yes. And that is everything you need in the My Island settings. And now we are actually going to go into making the mechanics. So the first thing that we're actually going to be setting up is our first of 2 bombs. So simply grab a timed objective device, throw it on down, and now let's start editing the settings. So hit E on it, and then go up to the top where you see these 4 bars, and make sure that you have it on this 4 bars. You do not want it on the 2, as the 2 only shows about 5 settings. You want to make sure that you can see all of the settings. So the first thing we're going to change is the time. This is how long you want it to take for the bomb to blow up. Next thing, we're going to put the timer label text to bomb : and then scroll down to hologram until activated. I just prefer to have this on no. It's always just personal preference. It doesn't really matter. It's just I think this looks a little bit better. And now go down to urgency mode, make sure that this is on, and then urgent mode start time, and put this on 10 seconds. What this pretty much just means is once the bomb counts down, once it reaches 10 seconds, then the bomb will turn red and start making a lot more noise, and then it'll count down from 10, like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, until it blows up. So start interact text, we're going to change this to plant bomb. And what this simply just means is that when a player walks up to it, when an attacker does, you can see that it says E customize. It'll actually say E plant bomb. And now if we scroll back down to that, we can see that we have start interact time as well. And this is how long you want the bomb to actually take to plant. So the players would have to walk up to it and hold it for 5 seconds, like hold E for 5 seconds without moving for the bomb to be planted. It's originally on 3, however, like I said, I'm going to put this on 5. Now, put the start team filter to 1, and now we're going to go down to stop interact text. We're going to change this to diffuse bomb. And what this simply just means is, yet again, when the defender walks up to it, it'll say diffuse bomb when there's the E option. As well as we're going to change the stop interact time to 5 seconds, just so it takes 5 seconds for them to diffuse it. Now we're going to go do stop team filter, make sure this is on team 2. The reason we're putting this on team 1 and team 2 is because we don't want an attacker to be able to defuse the bomb, as well as we don't want a defender to be able to plant the bomb. Pretty self-explanatory. Make sure that restart team filter is on none. We don't want them to be able to restart the timer after it's been planted. And now if we scroll down a little bit, you should see a thing called mesh options. If you want this on, you can have it on. If we put it to an explosive attachment, you can see that it has kind of this red box underneath it. And it's just for looks mostly, as we're going to be designing our own explosive. However, if you do want it on, you can have it on. I'm just going to put it on none for now though. Next thing we're going to want to do is go down to when started transmit on. So we can scroll on down. Where is it? When started transmit on. Now we're going to put this to channel 1. And now we should see when stopped transmit on. Put this onto channel 3. And then when completed, transmit onto channel 2. And that is everything you're going to want to set up for our first bomb. So the next thing we're going to be doing here is actually optional, so you don't have to do this if you don't want to. However, it's going to be setting up our own explosives. So grab an explosive device from the menu and throw it down, and then enter these settings. Once again, make sure you're on the 4 lined tab. Player damage, we're going to move this up to 75. Structure damage, if you want this on, you can have it on. However, I'm putting it on 0. Blast radius, I'm going to put this on 1. Knockback is going to be off. And then if we scroll on down, we're going to want to make sure that visible during games is off. And then if we scroll down yet again, we're going to want to make sure that explode when receiving from is on channel 2. And now this is our own custom explosive device. So if we hit E on the timed objective device, if we scroll on down, you can see that when completed, transmit on channel 2, and now this will explode when receiving from channel 2. So that's, once again, just optional, but I think it's a nice quality of life. So now we're going to be setting up our round timer. You know how in the My Island settings, we put the game timer to 0? Well, that's because we are going to be setting it up in an actual timer device. So throw it on down and now grab it, go to hit E to customize. So put start when round starts is yes, and then time to whatever you want your round timer to be. Mine is going to be 3 minutes. Next, we're going to put this to round timer like so, and now go to visibility during games. Just make sure it's hidden. That just ensures that players can't actually see it. If we scroll down a little bit, you should see a thing called allow sounds. Make sure this is off. This just makes it so the round timer doesn't beep and do things like that. As well as urgency mode should be disabled. Forgot about that. That's up at the very top. Make sure that urgency mode is disabled. And now stop when receiving from channel 8. Let's see, stop when receiving from channel 8 right there. And then make sure that when completed, transmit on channel 3. And that is your round timer. I know the channels seem a little confusing, but bear with me. They're pretty straightforward once we start setting everything up. So the next step in our process here is grabbing the team settings and inventory devices, 2 of them to be exact. This is how we are going to make sure that the teams win when they should, as well as they have their corresponding inventories. So place them both down like so, and go into one of them. Name one of them attackers, and put the team to 1. And now we're going to scroll down to the bottom, and you should see end round when receiving from. Put this onto channel 4, and when team is out of respawns, put this onto channel 6. That's all you need to do for this one. Go over to the second one, make sure that the name is something else, so we're going to put this to defenders, put it to team 2, scroll all the way down, and now end round when receiving from channel 3, and then when team is out of respawns, transmit on channel 5. The only thing left to do on these is you can set up an inventory, so simply grab whatever weapons you want, so we'll just pick up a bolt and just drop it on in. Once again, pick up a bolt and drop it on in. You can set up whatever you want for their inventories. In my map, for example, I have a blue AR, a green pump, and a white bolt for both teams. You can have the teams have different inventories if you want. So if you want the attackers to have a specific inventory and then the defenders to have a specific inventory, you can set that up right here. But that is all you're going to want to do for these team settings device. So the next step here is we're going to be getting a handful of music sequencers. So just go to the devices menu yet again and grab them. Place 3 of them down like so. And now go into every single one of them and ensure that the length, width, and height are both on, or all on, excuse me, 0.5. So we're just going to go through and do that to every single one of them, is put all of these settings to 0.5. And that should be good. Okay, now go to the first one in the list, and we're going to be setting up different channels for each and every one of these. So go to the first one, and then start sequence when receiving from channel 6. Next step, we're going to go over to this one, start channel when receiving from, or start sequence when receiving from channel 5. And then the last one is start sequence when receiving from channel 2. And that's all you're going to need for these music sequencers. The next step is making that these music sequencers go into triggers. So simply grab one trigger device and throw it on down like so. Copy it and paste it in the very front of this first music sequencer, like so. We're going to enter this and modify a couple settings here. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go all the way down to the bottom and put disable when receiving from channel 7, and then trigger, or excuse me, when triggered, transmit on. Put this onto channel 3. Now you might be wondering what this is actually for, and it's actually fairly simple. So the first thing that this does is this ensures that if the bomb is planted and the attackers run out of lives, the defenders still have to defuse the bomb. There's a lot of search and destroy maps out there currently where no matter what, if the attackers die, even if the bomb is planted, then the defenders still win. And the way that this works is we can go into this settings device over here, and we can see when team is out of respawns, transmit on channel 6. What this simply just means is when everyone on the team is dead, it's going to transmit to 6. 6 is over here, so it's going to send a signal out to here, into the trigger over here. Now, we will set this up shortly, but you should see a disable when receiving from channel 7. What we're going to set up is so when either of the bombs are planted, it's going to disable this trigger, so this trigger turns off. And then if it's not turned off, it's going to send a signal to channel 3, and then channel 3 is over here, where it says end round when receiving from channel 3. So what this, like I said, ensures is that no matter what, if the attackers are out of respawns or out of lives or they all die, however you want to put it, as long as the bomb is planted, the defenders still have to defuse it no matter what. I know it's kind of confusing, but bear with me. Now we're going to grab this trigger and place 2 more like so. So all of the music sequencers have a trigger in front of it. Hit customize and just go to the settings tab over here. You can see it at the very top, modified options. We're going to make sure that this disabled when receiving from is on no channel, as we don't want this one to be disabled, and then put when triggered, transmit onto channel 4. We're going to do the same thing on this one, is we're going to put this to no channel, and then channel 4 yet again. And this is our first set of music sequencers. We will be coming back to these very, very shortly. Believe it or not, this is actually pretty much everything you need in terms of setting up one bomb site for your search and destroy game mode. There are a couple channels that you will need to change and modify, as this tutorial is for 2 bomb sites. But if you guys do want to know how to make one bomb site only, I can show you that in a next tutorial if you guys are interested. But For our second bomb site, which we are going to be designing right now, simply grab our timed objective device that we have over here. This is the bomb, and hit customize on it. The settings are very similar. However, we're going to be changing a couple of the channels down here at the bottom. So the first thing we're going to do is scroll down to the bottom in this 4 tabbed thing and put disabled when receiving from to channel 1. We're also going to be modifying it on the other one as well, as I forgot to tell you guys to do that for the 2 bomb sites. However, this ensures that after 1 bomb is planted, you cannot plant at the second site. It just is a very nice quality of life not having to worry about the attackers planting both bombs. You obviously don't need to have this on, but I think it's pretty nice to have on. Next thing, when started, transmit onto channel 9, and then when stopped, transmit onto channel 4, and then when completed, transmit onto channel 10. Once again, we're going to be going over to this one over here and making sure that the disabled is on channel 9. Once again, that just makes it so if I plant this bomb will turn off, therefore making it so you couldn't have 2 bombs planted at the same time. Simply grab the explosive device, move it over, and turn the channel down here to channel 10. And that is your second bomb. Very simple, very easy, and that's all you really need for the second one. We're going to need to add a couple more music sequencers for the second bomb site, but it's fairly straightforward. The first one we're going to place in the line like the rest, and turn the length, width, and height yet again down to 0.5. Now scroll down to start sequence when receiving from, put this onto channel 10. We're going to be adding in the triggers momentarily, we just want to set up the music sequencers first. For the next 2, you're going to want to place a little bit further away from the line that you have and put them somewhat like this. Put the length on this one down to 0.5, keep the width on normal, and put the height to 0.5. And then scroll all the way down to the bottom yet again and put start sequence when receiving from channel 9. Now on this one, we're going to do the same thing, so length is going to be 0.5, width is normal, and height is on 0.5. You have to scroll down and put start sequence on channel 1. And it should look something like this. Now if you've been paying attention, you might actually know what this is. This makes it so when either of the bombs are planted, it's going to activate a trigger here. What does this trigger do? That trigger is going to disable this trigger. Now we're going to also set up another set of 2 music sequencers like so and put them on the exact same settings, so 0.5, normal, and 0.5, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then this one should be 9 and 1 yet again. Put that on 9, and then 0.5, 0.5, and then put it onto channel 1. And now you should have something that kind of looks like this. You obviously don't need to put them in the exact same spots. However, I just think it's a little nice for them to be like that. Now we're going to grab our triggers, which we can just copy and paste over. Oh, Eye of the Storm has been started. Go into the trigger settings, and if you just hit the modified options, you can get exactly right to where we want to be. So put this one onto channel 2. Copy it. And now you're going to want to put it in the center of these, so you make sure that both music sequencers can hit it. Okay? Now put this onto channel 8. Copy it over to this one. Do the same exact thing. Put it on to channel 7. Now, believe it or not, that is actually everything that you need for your search and destroy game mode. Now, all you're going to want to do is copy these and just put them wherever you want on the map. But other than that, you are finished. So just put the bomb and the explosive device wherever you want, design a kind of a bomb site, and that is pretty much it. There are a couple more add-ons that you could add, including map indicators. So if you look in the top right corner, you can have something on your map that says A, and that's very simple to set up. All you need to do is go to your recently added or whatever, if you're watching this video later, throw this map device down, or the map indicator, and now go to enabled on game start is yes. Team, we're going to want this on team 2, or team 1 rather. Icon, put it to whatever you want. So if it's the A bomb site, we're going to put this on A. icon color, we're going to put this on red, as the way that we're having this set up is we want team 1 to see a red A on the map. Pretty straightforward. This just simply means that it's a red A on the map. You can see it up in the top left corner, or right corner, excuse me. And now you would just copy this and paste it like so. And now we'd put it to team 2, and we want it to be a green A. And now if we put this to team 1, just so I can see it, you can see that the map indicator would show a green A. This just kind of is a quality of life thing. You obviously don't need this. However, it's just kind of a cool thing to have, whereas the players can kind of see where the bomb is on the map. Other things that you can add is you can add a sound effect for when the bomb is planted. That's very, very, very simple to set up. You just grab your speaker device, throw it on down, and now we place it next to the bomb, and we put it to whatever sound that we want it to be, and then activate when receiving from channel 1, as that is the channel when the bomb is started. And then we set up another one over here that activates when receiving from channel 9, as that is also what the channel is for when it started. So that is pretty much it for Search and Destroy. If you guys still do have questions, feel free to let me know. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that we are done here. It's kind of hard to test as I don't have 2 players, but if we just hit the start game button, you should see at the very top of the screen, you should see a thing called round timer. Now we are on the attacking team, so you can see that the A is red on the screen. And if we come over to this bomb, we can plant the bomb. See? Plant bomb. And now the reason that we actually set up this round timer, I don't know if I explained it before, is because whenever we plant the bomb, we want the round timer to be disabled. The reason we're doing that is because if a player plants a bomb with 6 seconds remaining, then that 6 seconds would still count down, and then after those 6 seconds are over, the defenders would win regardless. So if we plant the bomb here, you can see it'll play a noise as well as the bomb will be planted. There we go. And now the round timer is disabled. We could just wait for the 30 seconds for it to blow up, but I don't want to keep you guys sitting here. This is pretty much the end of the tutorial. Like I said, there's a couple optional add-ons that you can do, such as these map indicators that you can kind of see up in the top right over here. However, other than that, we are done. So once this bomb explodes, I will end off the video. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. But I don't really know what else to say now. You can see that the bomb starts kind of getting loud and ticking once it hits 10 seconds. That is the urgent mode that we set up. Boom. Bomb blows up, and we get a victory. And now we see the scoreboard for the 7 seconds that we set up previously. And next round starts. And now we are on the defending team. The way that you can tell is if you hit M or whatever it is on console, you can see that it says team's defender, and then we have 1 win, as well as we can't plant the bomb. But like I said, that's going to be it. So if you guys have any more questions, leave them below. But for now, that is all. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.